Hi, I'm Ty Davis with Making an Athlete Podcast. What is Making an Athlete Podcast? This is a platform where we talk to current and former athletes, current coaches. We talk to personnel that are directly involved in collegiate athletics, professional athletics. We talk to strength and conditioning coaches, athletic trainers, administration, who's part of the recruiting process. Maybe they focus on the academics of young student athletes coming in to those universities. But it just doesn't, it's not specific to just college in itself. We sit down and we talk youth sports, we talk professional sports. Ultimately, we talk about the process of being a young athlete and what it takes to get to that next level, what it takes to get to the collegiate level, what it takes to get to the professional level, and even what it takes if you're a younger athlete that's looking to, or you have a younger athlete that's looking to play at the high school level or on a competitive team. What are the proper routes for different sports? We talk to many former athletes and current coaches from a wide range of different sports, from football, basketball, baseball, soccer, swimming, fighting, UFC, equestrian. It's every different athletic, unique sport or different sport. We try to cover that and have conversations with experienced folks that know those sports and the correct paths, or they've learned from their experiences on what you should and shouldn't do to get to that next level, or to get that scholarship, to get seen by a scout. So we have these conversations with many great athletes that have been in the shoes of young athletes today, young student athletes who are looking to make that jump, or to be seen by that scout, or to understand, where should I go? Should I go to this camp? How do I get to a showcase? What kind of competitive team should I be playing on? How do I choose what university is right for me? I have these offers that are given to me. How to make that right choice of where I want to go? Or if I don't have scholarships, what are my alternative choices that I could do to continue playing my sport? And so we sit down with guests and have these conversations, learn from their experiences, and talk more on the do's, and not necessarily the do's and don'ts, but the good and the bad, what decisions they made that worked in their favor, what decisions, if they could go back and do it again, how they would do that. And beyond that, we bring in many collegiate coaches to have discussions with them and their approaches of how they recruit, where they recruit, and the best avenues for getting in front of those coaches. And on top of that, professional coaches. What's the difference in an athlete at the collegiate level and the professional level, and how do you excel as a professional athlete? What is that process for each respective sport? These are conversations that we sit down, we have, and we dive into, and we look from a holistic view of what the best path is for that athlete in their sport, and how they can achieve the best success. So, and it's an exciting conversations that we have with these coaches, or that we're having with these former athletes. And each experience is unique. Each experience, just like as a listener for a young athlete, or for maybe it's your child, or someone that you coach, each of their experiences is going to be unique to themselves, but a lot of them have commonalities that have allowed them to have success and find success. And a lot of it is their own hard work, or their own I'm going to make this happen for me. But also along that is having the right mentors, the right coaches, the right support from parents or individuals that are supporting that athlete. So we sit down, have these conversations, and really dive in deep to what that experience was like, and retrospectively what it means to them today, and what they took from that, and it allows us to just have a conversation like we're sitting in the living room somewhere, or just having a coffee with an old friend, and then taking and educating ourselves from that experience, and taking these these views or these lessons learned from these coaches, from these former athletes, and applying those to our children or to our young athletes now. I'm a father, and in all these conversations, I'm always learning something new. And when it gets to the point that my child, I have a girl and a boy, when they comes time if they want to play athletics, they make that decision. I'd love to have an understanding of these different sports that I don't know. Myself, I was a baseball player, so I know baseball very well. And I still know, I know the process of baseball and how it works. I've been a coach myself. I've worked at academies, and I've done, summer camps at colleges, and I know that how baseball works, but I may not know how swimming works or water polo works. But the guests that we bring on, that is their area of expertise. That's what they've lived all their life, and that's the type of conversations that we're going to have. So a bit about me is, I was a baseball player. I ended up being a pitcher, a right-hander. Unfortunately, wish I could have been a left-hander. But I was a high school student with average talent. I was 17. I had skipped a grade earlier on in elementary school, and so that kind of set me back physically when I was playing high school sports. But I had a coach that was very encouraging, very motivating, saw that I had a passion for baseball, that I loved baseball, and recognized that there was potential beyond my high school years. And so what came of that eventually is I took a junior college route, which is a very common route in sports, especially in baseball. And so I went and played at a local junior college. And from there, I grew 3 or 4 inches. I gained some weight, and I gained a lot of velocity, and that ultimately earned me a Division I scholarship to play at the University of Pacific, based out of Stockton, California. And they were, at the time, they're now part of the WCC, but at the time they were part of why did I just go blank there? They were part of the Big West. So the Big West Conference had UC Irvine, Cal State Fullerton, powerhouse in baseball, your Cal Polys, your Santa Barbara, UC Davis, a great baseball league. And then also got to play against schools that weren't too far away, so like Stanford and Cal. So great experience playing against some very top level baseball. And ultimately what it did is it gave me my degree. I earned my degree, and ultimately a master's degree at that university. Wasn't lucky enough, or wasn't skilled enough, I should say, to get drafted. That was a goal as a young kid, and the ultimate goal was getting a degree and getting some of my education paid for. But didn't get drafted, which was fine. That would have been more of a cherry on top. Maybe if I was a left-hander, that would have worked out a little bit better. But so I took my experience, when I reflect back on that path of how I got to where I was, playing Division I baseball at a great university. It took a lot of mentors. It took a lot of encouragement, coaches that were looking out for me and trying to do what was best for my future, and a lot of hard work, a lot of believing in myself. And it was, a lot of different pieces of a puzzle that made this opportunity happen. And so for each of our guests, we